Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Octavia Prosper. In the headlines, major infrastructural developments to be undertaken in this fiscal year, and this includes the International Airport, new training school to be built for police officers, and government continues to invest heavily in housing in the Kalinago territory. Details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, announced that major infrastructural work will be undertaken in this financial year. The Minister of Finance says government's ongoing program to modernize the infrastructure is a major feature of dynamic Dominica. The international airport is one of the major infrastructure developments to commence, and government has completed the necessary property surveys to begin the process.
Progress has been made towards the construction of the international airport. We have completed the necessary surveys, and Cabinet has approved for the acquisition of 213 properties required for the airport construction, of which 47 are farms. The total market value of these properties is estimated at $50.7 million. Negotiations have been completed with 25 property owners. Government will begin to make payments to the property owners and farmers in August 2020. Geotechnical surveys will be undertaken by September 2020. We want to place on record our appreciation to the government of the People's Republic of China for its commitment towards the construction of this important transformational project of Dominica. And we are grateful to them for their solidarity and support.
Another major aspect of Dynamic Dominica is the Roseau Enhancement Project. Government has already started the transformation of the city with the construction of the Roseau River Promenade.
The capital city of our country is important to that country symbolically as a place of opportunity and as the hub of the country's economic, social, and cultural life. This government has promised the people of Dominica, more so the people of Roseau, a transformed capital city. This transformation is already taking place, starting from the banks of the Roseau River, with the construction of the Roseau River Promenade and Riverwalk. During this fiscal year, we will see the construction of a bypass running from the east to west along the southern border of the Botanic Gardens. Part of the vision of this government is to undertake the transformation of the Botanic Gardens into an oasis of safety, calm, and beauty for all to enjoy. With the construction of the bypass, we will be able to make the Botanic Gardens a pedestrian zone.
Work will also commence on the reconstruction of Great George Street.
It will include the construction of a new road surface with all utility lines placed in underground ducts, covered drains and gutters, new sidewalks which will take into consideration the needs of the physically challenged, and upgraded street lights. Mr. Speaker, during the financial year, a 140-meter wall will be constructed along the southern bank of the Roseau River between the Isidro Black Bridge and the Goodwill Link Road Bridge. This will not only enhance the aesthetics of the city, it will also complete the southern river defense walls, mitigating the risk of flooding of the city.
A project funded by the government of the United Kingdom is the rehabilitation of the Lubia to Bagatelle Road. This will include new bridges, drainage system, and other works.
Lubia to Bagatelle Road. Designs and cost estimates have been prepared for the construction of the section of road from Lubia to Bagatelle. That project is being funded by the government of the United Kingdom and will see the construction of a number of new bridges, drainage systems, road widening and straightening, and a new road surface. Due to the terrain in that area, particularly between Fombao and Pishne and Dubik, the cost estimates for new designs exceeded the funding available. This required that the designs be reviewed in order to arrive at an estimate which is more in line with the budgeted amount. I have been advised that the revised designs should be completed by the third quarter of the fiscal year.
The Northeast Road is another project which will be done in this fiscal year. A contract was awarded for visibility study as well as preparation of designs and cost estimates for improving a 36.1-kilometer road on the northeast from St. Mary's Bridge in Hatton Gardens to Borough Square in Portsmouth. This consultancy was being funded by the Creative Fund of Arab Economic Development. The government of Dominica has a vision to revolutionize housing in Dominica. Senior Minister and Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Reginald Austri, operates under the principle that housing is a basic human right and so believes that every individual in Dominica has the right to own a decent home.
Not every individual can afford to do their own homes, their comfortable homes. And it's not just take a couple of wood and knock it together and say that's a house. It has to be comfortable, the children have to be comfortable. And so the government believes that we have a right and obligation to assist these people in obtaining an affordable home and a comfortable home. So really that is what drives us, you know. And it's not just a Dominican thing. It's a global principle that affordable home and housing is really an indicator of the standard of living of its residents. And like I said, the problem is many people do not know how to get around their housing situation. But this government under your leadership have found some very creative ways that we have spent, even at the government level, over $242 million in provision of housing.
That's since the hurricane?
Since the hurricane.
A project complements the World Bank is well on the way to benefit many Dominicans. Senior Minister Austri says government is currently in the finalization stage for this project.
One of the conditions for those houses is that you have to publish the names of the recipients that qualified and passed the test. And we have 90 of those that are being published as we speak. We have a list right here. And then we have another 1,300 that were rejected because there are set criteria set by the World Bank for the utilization of the funds. And then we have another 1,400 which have to be reviewed. But just to say that the first 90, they have been approved, and once they're published, then very shortly we'll get into construction mode.
Because we've done all the processes, we have contracted the architects and the supervisor for this project.
That's correct. That was delayed.
Yeah, that was delayed because we also had to renegotiate with the World Bank.
That's correct.
Because the original cap was $50,000.
$50,000 per home and 3,000 square feet.
It's now to what? It's now
It's now 125,000.
Senior Minister Austri believes that the approach taken by World Bank is a unique one.
One of the unique things about the World Bank project is that it's more owner-driven, where the owner, having met the criteria, even have an opportunity to decide which contractor they want to work on the building.
From a list of approved contractors.
That's approved contractors with the Ministry of Housing.
Yeah.
So the homeowner will be given a list, and they have an opportunity, under direction and supervision, of course, to decide who they want to really assist. A very unique arrangement that was forged with the World Bank.
The housing revolution has made a vast improvement to the lives of many Dominicans, providing resilient homes that can withstand natural disasters.
We got this company in Barbados doing resilient homes. We contracted them to do 1,000 homes. Out of those, we have done 112 in specific areas like in Point Michelle, in the Cardinago territory, in Hillsborough Gardens, and in Cochrane. For the MMC, we've done Jimmet, Granby, Belvedere. We're working now on Upper River Bank, working on the Pong, as was said by the Pal Rep, Georgetown, Courtney, Bellevue, and on the East Coast, where we built over 322 housing units, housing 322 families, and of course the 353 that we built in Bellevue Super Region of P7. But on our own local resources, we have also done 1,029, of which 736 have been completed and handed over, and then another 273 or thereabouts
under construction.
The government continues to prioritize the housing needs of all as many opportunities are unfolding to own your own home in Dominica. The Ministry of Tourism has outlined plans for the upliftment of local attraction sites around the island. Minister for Tourism, International Transport and Maritime Initiatives, Honorable Dennis Charles, says the completion of the Purple Turtle Dock are among the list of projects which will be completed this year.
The Purple Turtle Jetty, very impactful project for the North, which was started in Portsmouth, will be completed in this fiscal year. The Caribantic building along the scenic Scottshead Peninsula was also severely damaged by the passage of Hurricane Maria and had to be demolished. Works shall resume on the new facility, which will take the form of a traditional Kalinago cabet. In order to adequately highlight the Superior and Scottshead Marine Reserve, the Ministry of Tourism renovated the remnants of the Local Area Management Authority building, LAMA. Therefore, the facility will now be able to serve as a tourism reception point and will be co-managed by LAMA.
Minister Charles says in keeping with Dominica's goal to become the first climate-resilient country in the world, solar lights were installed at a few attraction sites.
In pursuit of the government's vision for Dominica to become the world's first climate-resilient nation, the Ministry of Tourism has installed new PV solar systems as backup power at Trafalgar Falls, Emerald Pool, Tito Gorge, and Syndicate. Other upgrades to sites include the modernization of washrooms with touchless accessories, installation of interpretative displays, panels and maps, provision of Wi-Fi, phone lines, and CCTV cameras for security.
Access to sites which were destroyed following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria were also improved.
At our unique gem, the Emerald Pool, a picnic shelter was constructed along the exit trail. This provides for rest, relaxation, and recreation in a natural and serene environment. The ministry has constructed a new viewing platform at a remarkable and refreshing Spani Falls, with access to the waterfall and safety railings at the site. The stunning sights of the southeast, Anbar Wabin Siwik, Victoria Falls, and Sarisari Falls have attracted cruise passengers and avid hikers for many years. However, access to these sites was severely impacted by Hurricane Maria. Cutting off access to the waterfalls. The trails have now been cleared and trail steps have been constructed, thereby improving access.
The tourism minister says over 70 persons received training to improve visitors' experience in Dominica.
Therefore, the standards for craft and souvenir vendors and for taxi operators were revised, and training and certification were priorities for a number of niche areas. Some 70-plus Dominicans graduated from a 40-week American hotel and lodging educational institute certification training.
Member of Parliament for the Salibia constituency, Honorable Cozier Frederick, says government has invested heavily in housing in the Kalinago territory. The Member of Parliament reported that in the last financial year, 20 climate-resilient homes were built by pre-Conco for Kalinago families. 10 more homes were ready to be handed over to families, providing comfortable homes for the indigenous people.
At the end of this financial year, 10 more pre-Conco brand new homes will be available to families built on scattered lots. This will unambiguously provide a safe haven during the hurricane season for 23 adults, 11 males and 12 females, and 27 children, 15 males and 12 females. This week, Mr. Speaker, on the morning of Wednesday 29th, before coming to this Honorable House, I had the opportunity to deliver keys to those families in preparation for the upcoming hurricane season.
Ongoing in the Kalinago territory is the European Union-funded Housing Rehabilitation Project. The overall objective of this project is to support Dominica's goal of becoming the first climate-resilient country in the world.
The specific objective is to contribute to a building of climate-resilient housing sector by building 50 climate-resilient homes in the Kanagu territory. Mr. Speaker, these homes will be built along 6 lots, 6 in Concord, 8 in Badaka, 5 in Kervish River and Saliba, 9 in Sensi, 10 in Gaulet River and Mao River, and 12 in Sineku. Mr. Speaker, a total of 127 rooms will be made available to the people of the Kanagu territory. Mr. Speaker, provisional commencement date of the project is July 1st, and the implementation period, 8 months works and 12 months defects liability.
Government continues to reaffirm its commitment to the Kalinago people by providing climate-resilient homes for all. You are watching National Focus. More when we return.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big, creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dishes rattling and falling and breaking. Then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, "Get outside, get out!"
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and SIDERA.
Welcome back. Minister for National Security and Home Affairs, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, said a new training school will be built for the police. The minister informed that the design phase is currently ongoing.
For this new financial year, we are simply waiting for the engineering element of the design for a new training school at Monbrose. Already we have demolished the old building, and of course we'll be actually training new police recruits to include women, because I don't think we can build a modern police force by only training men alone. We have to include the women in that process, Mr. Speaker.
Minister Blackmore says the community policing initiative will be enhanced. He says the presence of the police should be felt, especially in the city.
We'll also see, Mr. Speaker, emphasis being placed on a new thrust in the police force to build community. And that's why we're going to continue. We got hampered because of COVID in our attempt to have a more comprehensive community policing program. And because we really need to see more police officers on the street, especially traffic police. Our traffic police officers are provided with cell phones, with specialized app. They can download the traffic ordinance right there on the street, Mr. Speaker. And we have to take control of the street. There are too many vehicles parking on the sidewalks in Roseau, and I think the police has to get this right, Mr. Speaker, going forward.
In this financial year, $13 million will be spent to improve and upgrade border management system in Dominica. The service of biometric passports will also be introduced in this fiscal year.
That is important for a number of reasons. One, to cultivate a watch list so that persons of interest, before they reach to our borders, we can be told that they are coming to Dominica. And for the purpose of passenger information, as well as cargo, that in itself will be very important. And for secondary inspection, that will be important because we'll be able to take people's fingerprint at our borders in Dominica, and that's important. Oh, no, the most important in our border security improvement is our migration from the machine-readable passport to our e-passport or biometric passport, and almost counterfeit proof. And that, Mr. Speaker, in March of 2021, we'll be moving to a new biometric passports in Dominica. And Dominica will be the only country, except for the Bahamas, to have those improved passports in the Caribbean. And that is development, Mr. Speaker.
Provisions are also being made for the relocation of the registry, inclusive of the court, to the public service training building.
$1 million, Mr. Speaker, is provided for. So we can have, and I'm very happy, because we can now house, we'll be able to house our master's court, our civil court, our criminal court. We have our computer for technology, and all those various components that are critical for the proper operation of the court will be housed. And I want to thank the Minister for Finance for making this money available to move our courts.
The Dominica Youth Business Trust, DYBT, in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration, has launched an Entrepreneurial Development Hub aimed at assisting young entrepreneurs in Dominica. During the project launch, project manager from the International Organization for Migration, Mrs. Maxine Aline Esprit, says the hub will give clients access to grant funding.
The Hub of Entrepreneurial Support is going to be launched initially as an online, a virtual space. This will be a space where entrepreneurs can tap into ongoing training resources, where they can tap into the potential for grant funding, which comes to entrepreneurs who have been trained. So under the project last year, we gave, it was a 24,000 EC in grants to entrepreneurs who had taken part in the trainings, both the 2019 trainings and some previous special grants. This year, and I've not even said this to Carrie Ann, but we are pushing, the project is pushing a request to the donor that we can give, that DYBT will be in a position to give COVID support grants to their clients, to a couple of their clients who have suffered from the effects, the negative effects of COVID.
Mrs. Esprit says DYBT will be working in partnership with numerous institutions to ensure that all young entrepreneurs can benefit.
The hub will also be a place where, and we talk about the trainings include the regular trainings, but we are also working on several other small trainings. So we are working in partnership with the University of Virginia, with the Clinton Global Initiative, with Invest Dominica Authority, with the Digital Economy Project, with all sorts of different partners to try to bring these benefits together. And the hub will be a place where all of these things can come together and entrepreneurs will be able to tap into them.
The project manager says with the government of Dominica's steady stride towards the digital economy, the hub was designed to help the entrepreneurs get ahead of the digital economy curve.
The government is heading very steadily towards getting Dominica more within this whole digital movement. And we have seen the importance of it with the COVID-19 pandemic. But it is also, at the beginning of this project, when Carrie Ann and I started, when I started working on the project as project manager, we spoke a lot about the need to get young entrepreneurs ahead of the curve. As an agency that is dealing with, and as being part of the Ministry of Youth, dealing with young people, it is important that young people are prepared to deal with their future. And their future, the future of the young people definitely has a lot to do with technology. And so in Dominica, we really need to provide a platform where young entrepreneurs, young people in general, but in particular entrepreneurs, are able to trade in this economy of the now, which we are already behind the curve with.
Mrs. Esprit says the DYBT, with the support of IOM, is well placed to help these entrepreneurs take advantage of the digital economy.
We as IOM believe, and I know that DYBT does as well, clearly, I cannot believe it and they don't believe it, that the Dominica Youth Business Trust is extremely well placed, as well as the Youth Development Division and the ministry in general. But the Youth Development Division has a very active unit within the government that is dealing with skills training and job placements and entrepreneurial support, is very well placed to be a key player in that whole digital economy, that the realm of that digital economy. So it brings me to one of the most exciting initiatives under this project, which is DYBT's hub of entrepreneurial support. So within the project, one of the outputs is the establishment of a center of entrepreneurial support.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in partnership with the government of Dominica, has implemented the Strengthening the Disaster Management Capacity of Women in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Commonwealth of Dominica project with funding from the government of Japan. This 3-year project aims to enhance the capacity of farmers, with emphasis on female farmers, in preparing and managing disasters and improving their ability to contribute to national efforts for preparing and managing disasters within the agriculture sector. Participant farmers were drawn from the 3 parishes of St. David, St. Paul, and St. Patrick. On Wednesday, August 12, 2020, in collaboration with the Division of Agriculture, the project launched an introductory gender awareness workshop at the Public Service Union building. Gender sensitivity training is only one of many interventions this project will implement. Other interventions include the participatory integrated climate services for agriculture, training to help farmers better utilize climate-specific information to make necessary decisions. Head of Extension in the Agriculture Division, Mr. Felix Leslie, says they are working in collaboration with Guyana to implement the program with the main focus on extension officers and female farmers in both countries.
It's about strengthening disaster management capacity of women in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Commonwealth of Dominica. So what is taking place under the project is not only in Dominica, but we are partnering with Guyana in the implementation process. But may I say very, very early, the program targets extension essentially. And as we, as a division of agriculture, even though the Director of Agriculture can bear me on that, we are in the position where we are revisiting extension management, extension coordination, extension structure, so that extension will be better positioned to deliver to farmers.
Mr. Leslie says the division must continue to train and retrain staff so that they are always properly equipped to assist farmers.
Let us understand where we are in terms of the development of the agricultural sector and the role the sector has been playing and must continue to play in the economic development of the nation. And so we understand that to be able to serve farmers more efficiently and effectively, our team of officers must be trained, and may I say, retrained and retooled. So I know that a lot of us, we have gone to school and we have our diplomas, our degrees, you know, and I must say that we have a well-trained staff, but one will understand that in an age of technology and development, one always have to go back to the drawing board to be retrained so that we can get the latest technology that will better equip us to serve our farmers.
Mr. Leslie described the training as timely as Dominica continues to battle the effects of climate change as a small island developing state.
This PISCA program, it comes at the right time because what it does for us, it allows us for greater exposure in terms of training for our staff. And this program was implemented about a year and something ago. But interestingly, it comes at a time when we're looking at issues of climate change, climatology. And you know, when we talk about climate change in Dominica, we will understand what is happening. Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria and the rest of them that we know about, those of us who go back as 1979, Hurricane David, etc. We understand what is happening to our country when a disaster hits. Yes? You can see it all over the place, and every Dominican should understand what is happening to a small island developing state where the issues of climate change are concerned.
The government of Dominica has partnered with the Montreal Management Consultant Establishment, MMCE, over the years, providing resilient homes to the people of Dominica. The government has taken the decision to use locally built furniture. Project manager for the Montreal Manager Consultant Establishment, MMCE, Christopher Timmins, says that the furniture designs are modern.
They're very much designed for modern open plan living. So when we're picking designs, we're picking for neutral color schemes, we're picking for modern materials, we're picking designs which will blend in whether you're 25 or whether you're 75, whether you've got furniture you inherited from your grandmother or whether you've just gone down to Ralph Lauren and bought the latest thing. So therefore we have to be fairly neutral, fairly Catholic in our tastes.
He enforced that only good quality materials will be accepted.
All the material we want has got to be good quality. We're going for high impact laminate on the doors, or we will accept foil wrapping. The kitchen carcassing, that's got to be of a water resistant material, whether it be water resistant marine ply, or a lot of people these days are using the PVC board. I'm not convinced on that yet, but you guys can leave me to convince. We want the concealed hinges. We want good quality ironmongery. We want soft closers on all the doors. The worktops, we're going to offer options. We can have granite, we can have reconstituted stone, or we can have acrylic.
Mr. Timmins says that big contracts requires a timely delivery to ensure that other projects will not delay the finishing touches of the houses.
If they're held up because the kitchen manufacturer hasn't delivered the kitchens on time, and then the electricians are held up, and the plumbers held up, and the tilers held up. So when we commit, Guy, we really need an honest commitment that you can deliver on that time. And this is what I say, I would rather deal with 20 suppliers who can give me 10 kitchens each, rather than 5 suppliers who are going to promise me 40 kitchens each, and they fail to deliver.
The project manager explains that standardization is key and expects nothing less upon delivery.
I can't be building new residences for people where Mrs. Jones down there has got a slightly different kitchen from Mrs. Smith, and then when she gets the key, she gets upset because she perceives that that kitchen's better than this kitchen. So they all have to be the same.
Mr. Timmins advises all furniture manufacturers to register their interest and benefit from this opportunity. And now for your weather update. A relatively dry atmosphere can be expected during the next 18 to 24 hours as a high-pressure system has established itself across the island. However, occasional cloudiness and a few brief showers can be expected across parts of the island. On Thursday, a tropical wave is expected to affect the Les Antilles, and yet another from late Friday into Saturday. The latter wave is being monitored for tropical cyclone development as it moves across the Atlantic. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks should remain vigilant and advised to exercise caution during the passage of these waves. Moderate seas are expected during the next 24 hours, with waves peaking to 8 feet. A small craft advisory is in effect for above normal seas. Small craft operators and sea bathers, particularly on the East Coast, are advised to exercise extreme caution. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Octavia Prosper. Thank you for watching.